Hello everyone, Vicki Achard here with Nature's Best Art. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to be making Easter cards. So let's get started. Okay, I'm starting off by showing you my stamp, which is a beautiful cross. It's made from Recollections, or by Recollections. That was my stamp pad. I'm using black, and my embossing powder from Stampendous. And of course you have to use your Versamark, and you put your stamp on the Versamark and use your embossing powder. It's my base, and that red panel there was from my March 4th or March 11th video where I put designs on watercolor paper, and wanted something different for my Easter cards this year, and thought that would look really pretty. And this one I put stencils. I use stencils on that, and I'm not concerned about that middle being a little blurry there, and because I knew my cross was going to go there. So I'm going to put a ribbon on, and then I'm marking where I'm going to cut it right there with my X-Acto knife and feed it through. Because I didn't have a 4.5 by 6.5 panel, as you could see, and I couldn't put it around my panel, so I had to put it somehow around that front part, and that's how I did that. And yes, I'm using a ribbon from Bath and Body Works. Nobody will know. I have the words on the bottom. And I just used my ATG gun, and I got it crooked, and I show you at the end of that card making, that one that I do correct that. I'm just positioning my cross where I wanted it, and using my ATG gun. And this Happy Easter stamp was really nice to use. I've used it for many years, and I really don't know, who makes it. It doesn't have a name on it. I probably got it at Michael's. Okay, now I'm going to be using my scraps from my pressed floral artwork. I love using these on my cards. I think these embellishments really make the card look very pretty and unusual. So I'm using that Scotch mounting squares, and I actually put 2 on that red flower there because it's a little lower. So you'll see me putting 2 on one of the flowers. There I go. So I want that a little bumped up a little bigger. And the inside, I want to put a lighter paper, so when I write on it, my writing will show up. I just put 1 strip of that with the ATG gun on top. That's all you need. And here I'm going to fix that ribbon, make it straighter. And I'm sorry I'm a little off camera there. There, I take the tape off with my finger. I just rub it, and it comes right off. And because I'm particular, I want to get that straight, so I start cutting that ribbon. I didn't really have to, but I'm trying to make it as straight as I can. And and there, I think it looks real pretty. That's my first card. Now the second card, this was made out of the salt. The sea salt, and there's my Memento Luxe. It's a really pretty pink, and because it's so pretty, I wanted to use it all around my my panel and my base. And I'm going to be positioning my cross and my sentiment on there. I'm just showing you that I made that with the embossing powder. It was a really pretty color that I used. And then I went in my put Happy Easter with my my gel pen, and that was because that sentiment there was a little smaller than the one I excuse me, that would fit my stamp pad. So I wrote it in there, and there's my flowers that I'm going to use. These are my liquid pearls. I'm going to be using those also. And those really make the cross look pretty, I thought. And these are actually, I think, called panels. On my March 4th and March 11th video, I called them bases, but the white part that you open up is called the card base, I believe. And with the card bases, what I use white, black, cream, or craft. I like just using the 4 choices. That's the white base, and then that's my panel that I'm going to put on there, and that's cut 4.5 by 6.5. And now I'm positioning my ribbon, but then I thought, I really want to put that strip down first. So now my ribbon, unlike the first one, I was able to wrap it all the way around, and I had the tape on the back, so my adhesive, so I just put it down there like that. I didn't have to cut anything to get my ribbon on like I did the first one. And I position that just a little high, and at the end I move that down a little bit. And now I'm using my Zots to put a little Zot there. I thought the ribbon was sticking up too much, and you're not going to see that because my sentiment's going to cover that. Now see, I put it up just a little too high, and later on I lower it. And putting my scotch mounting squares on the flower. I thought that was really pretty color with everything. It matched really pretty. And the inside, I just saw this paper that I have. It had dots on it, and I thought because of the sea salt, the dots that it made on the top, it just looked real pretty with it. I thought it looked real pretty, and just thought that looked nice together. I like to put things inside my cards sometimes too. And those liquid pearls, I just love those, using those. Those are by Ranger. Got those at Michael's. Now these are my scrap papers. All of these are my scrap papers, and I actually didn't have to cut a lot of papers to make things fit because I have so many scrap papers. You know how it is in the craft room. And so I start right away by putting my papers on, because I wanted to remember how I did it. And that's one of my stencils that I made on my my video 6 watercolor techniques for card-based backgrounds. I actually probably should have called these panels instead of card bases, because like I say, the bottom, the card that opens up, is the base, I believe. Okay, so I'm just showing you there. I'm using my embossing powder from Stampendous, and showing you this lavender that I just bought this, and I love the color. It's like a light, real light, pretty light color, and the purple. And putting my my pressed floral scraps down. And what I do is I cut these from my designs that I've made. I made over 100 pressed floral designs, and so I have quite a bit of scraps, and I don't ever throw anything out in the craft room. I use everything that I have, because I find a use for it, it seems like, over the years. And just putting my sentiment now in the inside. So I thought I got quite a bit on the outside, so I wanted to put that in the inside. And that's my stamp there, and like I said, I got it years ago, and I think I got it at Michael's. There was no name on it, but that was little crooked there. So later on, I don't show you, but I do put a flower in the middle there on the end, so that wouldn't be crooked. You could do that. You just keep adding things until things look, you know, the way you want them to look. And just keep working on your cards. I just love this one. I think it's just beautiful. And there they are, my 3 cards that I made. Just love it. Just love them. Now I'd like to show you other cards I made in the last few days. Some have already been mailed, and please stay to the end of the video. I want to show you a few more tips for your card making that I think is helpful. So you might remember the one with the blue and the purple and with the lace on it. And I just want to show you, this is what I used to put on the lace, this Tombow Mono Liquid Glue. It's a really good, it adheres very well. And so that's what I wanted to show you that. And then now this card, the one, remember the one with the ghosting that I did on the video in March that I just loved? Well, this bow I wanted to use because it was so pretty with it, but it's a little thick, and also the button's a little thick. So I want to show you, and isn't this pretty paper? I found this in my scraps that I did, I don't know, a couple years ago. I remember doing this a couple years ago with markers, and I thought it fit really well with this card. So anyway, I wanted to show you, I'm not going to mail this, and if I would mail it, I'll show you what I do to check and to see if it goes through this template that I have from the post office. This is a really nice template that I have. And if it fits through here, then it's fine. You don't have to put extra postage on it. But what I did is I put it in my envelope. I'll show you that I do that. And then I test it just by putting it through here, and it doesn't go through. So that's when I know that I have to just add an extra stamp. That's all you got to do. But actually this one is going to go to my daughter, and she's going to be picking up her package. I have an Easter package for her family, and I'll put it on my porch so she can pick it up. Of course, we're not supposed to be near anyone, but that's what I'm going to do. And now for each of these cards, I'm going to be writing John 16:33, and which says, "In the world you have tribulation, but take courage, I have overcome the world." And I just love that message, especially for in our trying times today with this virus that we're all trying to be real good and stay separate and apart from each other. But I hope you have a wonderful Easter, and I hope you and your loved ones and your family are well and can be at peace, knowing God loves you and He cares for you. And my prayer is, please God, help. We need a cure ASAP, right? That's for sure. And that's not even funny, actually. So keep praying and keep believing. Until next time, happy creating.